Hello YouTube, Red Reptiles here with another video, and today's video is actually going to be a little bit different. It's something that I don't highlight too often on my channel, and that is going to be my snakes. So I used to breed a ton of ball pythons, a bunch of snakes from Boas to carpet pythons to blood pythons, obviously a ton of ball pythons like I already said. And if you guys have been watching my channel for years, that's how you guys know most of my videos went. We went ahead and switched over to tortoises and, more towards the conservation and, kind of educational side of this, hobby. But I do still keep some snakes. It's going to be always something that I'm going to have. I have a few snakes here, and I wanted to kind of show you guys what they are, who they are, and go ahead and clean their habitats because their, tanks are a little bit dirty. Most of them have shed out. There's some old poop and things that we got to kind of just get some upkeeping in, maybe change out the mulch. So I wanted to highlight that in this video. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's get started. All right, so we're in the reptile room. That's where I keep my snakes. To start off, we got Benny. Benny is a male dumeral boa, and as you can see, he has shed out. There's some poop. They kind of fed last week, so that usually kind of sparks them into wanting to kind of keep growing because snakes don't ever stop growing. He is a really nice snake, but he's not the friendliest, so we're gonna go ahead and get to him. We got Sparky, my original male ball python. He's also shedding. We got this young male pewter. He's probably gonna be available for sure at the Scales Expo next Saturday. And then we got Depot, who is another male albino ball python. Cool story about him when we get to him, but he's clean in his habitat, nothing there. And then we got, last but not least, Jungle. Jungle is my large male boa constrictor, and there's just some kind of calcium deposits that he was not able to digest, and urates, of course. And we'll go ahead and clean out some of the shed because I see some old shed in there as well. So we'll make sure they get waters, give them a nice little stretch, take care of them, and then I'll get to talk to you guys about some of my snakes. All right, guys, so the first snake that I'm gonna go ahead and deal with is Benny. Benny is a Dumeros boa, like I was explaining in the first clip. Not the friendliest snake. This animal came to me as, not a rescue, I won't say a rescue. He came from a really good friend of mine who, his uncle bought this snake for him as a baby. He was the one kind of raising it for about 21 years. And then the uncle was, hitting his early to middle 70s. And they kind of just didn't want to deal with the snake because obviously it is a responsibility to animals. So they knew I have snakes, they knew I kept reptiles. So they went ahead and said, like, Javon, would you like to take this snake? And I was like, of course. Dumeros boas, not very common in the reptile industry as far as snakes. A lot of people do keep them. This is an old world boa, so it is not like a red-tailed boa which come from South America. This is an African species coming from Madagascar. So Madagascar has the Dumeros boa, and they also have the Madagascan ground boa. Look very similar, but have some differences. And Benny here actually just shed out. So what we're gonna go do is remove Benny with the snake hook. I have a tub set up where I'm gonna go ahead and lock this animal in. And then while I do that, I'll go ahead and clean out this tub. I got some gloves. We're gonna go ahead and get a bag, see if the mulch needs to be replaced, put some fresh water, and that's just kind of how it's gonna go with all the snakes. The reason why I grabbed the hook with him and like Jungle, because they are larger snakes, I just want to make sure that they are obviously aware that we're not feeding them and that we're not going to have any moments where I need to kind of like, I don't want to get bit by a boa like this because he is very flimsy and very flighty, and he's going to kind of be reactive right now and hide behind his basically log here. I'll go ahead and grab him, and then he's also shedding, so maybe we'll go ahead and soak him. But if you can go ahead and see, very nice snake here. Nothing too crazy, but I'll go ahead and put him in the tub just to make sure that nothing happens. It's just not nice to get bit by a big boa like this. So there he is. Place him back in the tub. And he is secured and ready to go. We can go ahead and clean. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that time lapse of me spot cleaning Benny's habitat. This is not the largest habitat, of course, for a snake kind of his size, but it's what I got. It's the best kind of visual that I can give myself also to look at him. He's got plenty of deep mulch so he can kind of burrow because they kind of like to be more terrestrial. They are a ground dwelling snake. He is also about to finish kind of shedding up, so what I did is I sprayed down the habitat with water and also like this, you know, kind of mite spray that I use to kind of control mites if I ever did have them, thank God, fingers crossed. And he is probably gonna help kind of rub himself off with that log there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Benny here. I'm just gonna hook up from the back, guide him with the front. One more quick shot for the camera. Absolutely love this snake too. He's very cool. It's, you know, it's just something that not very well, not that's not very well kept. It's not that it's kept often in the reptile hobby. So I'm happy to actually have this guy. So my kind of thought process with snakes now is I keep what I like and also keep kind of what I have space for. I do love bigger snakes over the ball pythons. Obviously I used to keep a lot more ball pythons, but I love like snakes like Benny, snakes like Jungle. And of course, if I ever found something kind of cool that I'll go ahead and, you know, see, maybe I'd pick it up, obviously making sure that I have the right habitats for it, of course, and spacing, because the reptile room is kind of maxed out. If you guys saw that last video where I had to put the fish tank in. So we have this guy locked. All the cages here are locked. And that's just kind of a protocol for us to have some safety for the animals. So there's Benny. His habitat's nice and clean. He'll go ahead and kind of finish using that log to help him shed out. I need to kind of increase the humidity in here. It's been a little bit dry lately. So there he is, beautiful snake. And then we'll move on to the ball pythons. All right, so we're gonna move on to the ball pythons. I had to go ahead and move Buster's perch. Bear with me with these camera angles because I have you guys on the tripod on Buster's perch actually, so we can kind of get these better angles of the snakes and obviously me talking to you guys. The video is in 0.5 for the most part, just because I wanna make sure we get the entire view of things. So we're gonna touch on Sparky first. For those that don't know, Sparky is my first snake ever. I've had this guy for almost 20 years now. If you guys go back all the way to some of my first YouTube videos, he is inside there. Well, he's in the videos, of course. A much younger snake, and obviously a lot more vibrant in color. He has gotten old. He just had a spotty shed as well, so we'll go ahead and spot clean him, maybe add some new mulch. But here he is. I absolutely adore this snake. The day that he passes will be a very sad day for me, but this is Sparky. He's fathered a lot of clutches for me. He's been involved in several educational videos, obviously shows, and he's never tried to bite me. He's just an awesome snake. He still eats like a champ. He used to go off of feed like crazy, but that's just kind of normal for ball pythons where they do that thing where they want to breed. And yeah, eats good, but doesn't put on that much weight, but I just assume because he's a lot older. He's had this kind of abscess on the back of his tail for years now. Still haven't figured out what it is. It's not that hard. It's kind of malleable with his skin. And here is Sparky. He is one of the 2 male albino ball pythons that I have, but I absolutely love this guy. All right, guys, so another ball python that I'm gonna go ahead and show you is this little male pewter right here. This guy is fairly young, and obviously I'm actually not gonna be keeping this guy because I don't really need another ball python. Like I said, I keep kind of what I like. I go ahead and take animals in a lot of times. I rescue a lot of animals, make sure they're rehabilitated. These animals came in when they were very skinny. We kind of given him some weight back, and he does really well, eating greatly. So he'll be available at the Scales Expo next Saturday, October 19th. If you guys are watching this video before that, it'll be in West Palm Beach. And we got a nice little young little male pewter here. Super cool little snake. And ball pythons do make great pets if kept correctly. Obviously, a lot of people say that they're boring, that they don't really do much. A lot of that is true, but they're just cool little snakes to kind of go ahead and grab around. And obviously, you know, just keep a snake if you want to keep a snake. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that little 10 gallon, put him in the tub, and then we'll move on to Depot, just kind of show you guys about Depot, Jungle, and we'll wrap up the video. All right, guys, so here is Depot. Depot is another male albino ball python. This animal is actually a rescue, and the reason why his name is Depot is because he was found at a Home Depot in the garden section around like 11 p.m. My friend calls me, he was working his shift, and he says, hey man, we just found an albino ball python. And I was like, an albino ball python? No way. He's like, yeah, bro, look, I'll send you a picture. He sends me a picture. It is Depot. I went over there, picked this guy up, and I've had him ever since. It's actually a very cool animal to kind of just share a story about and say, hey, look, this is not what this is what you shouldn't do when you keep animals. You should not let them go. And all the scarring that you see on his back he came like this. I wonder if he, you know, was just chewed up by rats, or maybe he tried to escape one time, or maybe he kind of was burnt, who knows. He's actually a little bit dull right now because he's about to go into a shed. His habitat's pretty much clean. We're just gonna go ahead and spot clean some of this poop that's in the corner and these urates. Got some back here, and I'll go ahead and change out his water because it's got some oil in there. Well, not oil, but you know, a little bit of dirt and stuff that's kind of creating that film at the top of the water there. So here is Depot, very cool snake as well. And that's just basically the ball pythons that I have. In reality, it's only 2 if you kind of exclude that pewter. And then I got Jungle right there and Benny the boa. All right, guys, so here we are with Jungle. And Jungle is my male hypo red-tailed boa. He is an absolute beast. I absolutely love this guy. He's probably around 8 feet, maybe 8.5 feet now. And he weighs, I think his max was like 30 pounds. We kind of put on a diet there. He slimmed out a little bit. He is pretty famously known on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram for having an upper respiratory infection, which thankfully, fingers crossed, he has actually not, you know, had that problem in about almost 2 years now. So this guy's a big boy. I try to take him out as often as I can. It's not the most common thing for me to do, but he's got a very large, you know, aquarium here. This is about almost 300 gallons, and you guys know that originally it was a fish tank, but it is no longer. It is now Jungle's tank. So what we're gonna go do is kind of take out that urate, take out some of the shed, change out his water, give him a nice little stretch here, get him you know, on camera, of course. And then, as you can see, he has an infrared bulb just to kind of keep him nice and warm. This room is very hot because we have lots of lamps. It is a reptile room. It's in the garage as well. So it stays actually a lot warmer than usual. So none of these snakes really need to have a heat lamp on them or underbelly heat, but I kind of added a little bit extra for him because he's known for having that upper respiratory infection, and I want to make sure that his habitat stays nice and dry all the time. All right, so I already went ahead and cleaned out Jungle's habitat. It's a lot harder of a clean than the other habitats because it's a very deep tank, so I can't really go inside. So what I do is I move over his poop with the snake hook there, the urates, any shed, of course, and then obviously I'll take my tweezers, my very long tweezers that I have for feeding snakes, and I'll just kind of pick up things like that. Almost like a very forbidden sushi roll that nobody wants to eat, of course. But this guy's gonna be fine in there. He went in the tub very shortly. And then obviously we changed out the water, giving him a nice stretch. And it's always good to take this guy out. I absolutely love this guy. He's probably my favorite snake that I own. I've always wanted a very large constrictor. I've had very large boas in the past, but this guy is definitely the largest snake that I've ever kept as far as mass, girth, and of course, overall length. So we're gonna go ahead and put this guy up. Forgive the angle, and take some time to get up here, of course, but we're gonna put this guy back in the habitat. Make sure that he stays down. Take out the snake hook, remove the little post. What he'll do now is he'll go all the way up to the top of the cage, does it every single time. Kind of explore a little bit, and as you can see, it is locked, because we try to take extra safety here at Ready Reptiles, and I want to make sure that all my snakes are secure. So we're going to leave the hook and things up there, and here is Jungle. We got to go ahead and clean up this mess, move the bird back, put the tubs back in the corners, of course. But that's pretty much all the snakes and how we clean them. So before we end the video, we'll give you a final little overlook. We got Benny again. He actually had some stuck shed here in one of the clips. I went ahead and removed that because he did exactly what I said, kind of moved himself around the log, helped him get rid of that extra shed. There's Sparky. We got some shed on the outside here that I'll pick up now. The pewter, Depot, everyone got misted. Obviously water's changed and spot cleaned. And there's Jungle kind of stretching himself out. Does it every single time he hangs up there. And then obviously he's got no more urates and things. So we'll go ahead and get this reptile room straightened out. And here's a nice little overview of the other animals. Everyone's doing good. If you hear some background scratches, it's because these iguanas are anxious to kind of see what I'm doing. And of course, everyone is nice and clean. All right, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said in the beginning, snakes were kind of the start for me as far as making a lot of content, going ahead and breeding animals, of course. So I'm very passionate about them still. It's an animal that I enjoy keeping, even though I don't have many of them. If you guys, have watched my videos in the past, This room has been filled with racks, my other reptile rooms, my other garages. Since I'm just a little kid, I've been doing this, and it's something that I'll forever be doing. Even in my career, I'm trying to integrate both animals and what I do right now and what I'm studying. So there's some of the snakes that I have. Sparky's an OG, of course. We got Benny, we got Deepa, we got that Peter, we got Jungle. And of course, we have lots of other animals here at Red Reptile. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to go check out the previous videos as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, rate, comment, likes, and see you, my fellow herpers.